Hi everyone, Chris Olfers here, and I'm going to tell you today why I am foregoing the A7 Mark III razzle dazzle and staying with my A6500 because I think the A6500 and the Sigma 30mm is the best deal on the market right now. This is originally what I started with. It was kind of my first foray into mirrorless cameras. Before this I had a Canon G7X that was point and shoot. It was great. It was awesome for vlogging. I actually liked it more for portability, but it just didn't have the flexibility of different lenses, and it really didn't give me all the manual controls that I wanted or needed, and it didn't have an audio hookup, so my audio sucked. The number one reason that I recommend getting the A6500 over anything else on the market, including the A7 III right now, it's the reason I'm not switching, by the way, is because you can get it on Amazon right now, both the camera and the lens combo, actually what I started with, for $1,500. That's 75% of the price of the A7 III body alone. Then you have to go out and buy a lens after that. They're about $1,000 to start. You can sink that money into something else. Spend the money that you saved on not buying the A7 III and that expensive lens on going out and buying the DJI Ronin S, stabilize your footage, and you're gonna get something way more cinematic out of it. This lens flies awesome on a gimbal. Some people might say it's too tight. I say it looks awesome, and I'll actually show you in just a minute. Okay, let's start with capabilities. The A7 Mark III shoots 4K in 24 or 30 frames per second and 1080p HD in 120 frames per second. That's just the same as this A6500. If it had maybe the 4K 60, like the GH5, it would maybe convince me to try it out, but I'm going to a Panasonic event later this month, so this emoji. I have to acknowledge, this is a crop sensor camera. A full frame sensor is 1.5 times as big as this guy, what's on the A6500. Basically what that means is that on the A7 Mark III, your lenses are gonna look wider, low light's gonna be better, and your backgrounds are gonna be a little bit blurrier. Those are trade-offs you make for the much lower price tag. It's something that I'm willing to make because as you'll see, you still get great low light, great blurry backgrounds. So this camera is awesome because a camera and lens like this can fit in your pocket. It's amazing. We put it in Arielle's purse when we're traveling around. I regularly carry my DJI Mavic, my A6500 with 2 lenses, a change of clothes, laptop, chargers, hard drives, everything I need. It all fits in a backpack, a small backpack. That's amazing. Okay, now what you've been waiting for, sample pictures and video. This lens is an absolute beast. It was so dark when I took this picture, but you still, at 1.4, get these amazing colors, these amazing sunsets. You get this definition here in the shadows. It's amazing. This lens, for a $300 lens, blows your mind. You can also achieve a really nice separation of your subject from the foreground and the background, like you see here with this Corona bottle. Because of the 1.4 aperture, will give you a really shallow depth of field, so you can focus really well on what you're trying to take a picture of. The autofocus in the A6500 is amazing. When I use an autofocus, I want to feel like it's an extension of my mind, that when I push the shutter button halfway down, it knows exactly what I'm trying to focus on, and it does. And I feel like the A6500 is the best that I've ever seen in doing that. Definitely better than any other DSLR on the market. I haven't tried many other mirrorless cameras, but this is certainly one of the best around. I sure hope it is because I can't see what I'm recording because there's no flip out screen. Sony. The lens is incredibly cinematic. When you shoot these sunset scenes, you get this amazing shallow depth of field. The A6500 has stabilization inside, so it's a 30mm, which means on a crop sensor, it's gonna be more like a 50mm would be. And you've probably heard nifty 50 places. It's kind of the original storytelling lens. It's something that you can get far enough out to look like it's a tight shot, or you can get a kind of a wider shot if you step back a little bit. It is a prime lens, so you can't zoom with it, but I like prime lenses actually more because you get to move around on your feet and kind of frame the shot up a little more without being lazy and just zooming and leaning around something. I think this really made photography fun for me when I started out, is just having a prime lens. It gives you a little bit of a challenge that makes you a better photographer. The negatives now. This lens is not stabilized inside, so if you have an A6300 or an A6000, this is not gonna be a stable lens. A6500 has sensor stabilization, so when you move the camera around, it's gonna smooth out those little jitters and make a pretty smooth shot, even with an unstabilized lens on it. But like I said, on the A6500, which is the kit that I'm recommending here, this is a great lens, even without being stabilized. This focus ring sucks. It's completely useless. I wish they had left it off altogether. I can't use it for anything. It's horrible. Please get rid of it. It's focused by wire, and that's electronic. So what that means is you're just giving a cue to a little motor inside that's moving the focus. And someone at Sigma thought that it was a cool idea that if you moved it really slow, it went slower, and then if you move it really fast, it goes from here to infinity just like that. Here, I'll show you real quick. Here's a half turn. Okay, so that's in focus at a half turn. And we can rack it back. However, if you have a little extra coffee on the day that you're filming and you give it a half turn fast, oh my gosh, it's focused so far that it's now at infinite. We cannot go any further than we've just gone, and bam, all the way back to like right in front of the camera lens. It's just bad. I think the only thing left to do is show you some video of this lens and actually what it looks like flying it on a gimbal too. I think that would be good. So 1, 2, 3, hit it! I absolutely love this combination. I use it all the time, especially when the sun goes down. It elevates everything that you do already. So if you're thinking about getting started or taking things to the next level with your filmmaking or photography, I really highly consider the Sigma 30 and A6500 combo because of its size, affordability, and capabilities compared to the A7 III. You're gonna spend probably about twice as much to get that camera and lens. I don't know that the improvements that you'll get for that are justifiable in that $1,500 increase in price tag. So that's where I stand. I would love to hear your thoughts. Comment below and let me know what you want me to review next because I like doing these, but I don't do them enough. So I really want to do more. See you guys next time. Thanks.